Hello, my friends. Welcome to Math Time with Mrs. Idas. Today we are going to do a very special project, and we are going to be making chocolates in a heart box for Valentine's Day. You're going to need your pink construction paper, your red heart, your brown piece of construction paper. We're going to need scissors, our glue stick, a white crayon, and you can use your Flair pen. But before we begin, I'd love to read you this extra special story called The Valentine Bears by Eve Bunting. She's the author who wrote the story, and pictures by Jan Brett, the same author and illustrator who made the story The Mitten. So let's begin. The Valentine Bears. Oh, look at these cute little valentines in there. Oh, look at Mr. and Mrs. Bear. How cute are they? It was October 14th, and the bear's den was snug and secure for the winter. Mrs. Bear set her alarm for February 14th. Then she curled herself comfortably against Mr. Bear's back and listened to his snores. It was good to settle down for a long 4-month sleep. Oh my goodness, they're hibernating. When the alarm went off 4 months later, Mrs. Bear could hardly believe it. It seemed as if she had just gone to bed. My, she said, yawning, spring already. And then she remembered it wasn't spring yet. She had set the alarm early for a special reason. Mrs. Bear stretched, scratched, kissed Mr. Bear on his nose, and got up. Mr. Bear could sleep through just about anything, and she was glad. She had some things to do. First, she made a sign. It's nice to share Valentine's Day with someone you love. She tacked the sign on the wall so Mr. Bear would see it the instant he awoke. Leaves had blown into the den while they slept. Mrs. Bear brushed them into a pile and swept them outside. Brrr, she said, standing in front of the den. You'd think they'd put this special day in summer. Mr. Bear and I have never shared a Valentine's Day in all our years together. Why do you think that is, friends? That's right, because they're usually hibernating. Mrs. Bear dug up the honey pot she had buried in the fall. She pawed off the lid and smiled. It was fruity and rich and smelled like summer, just the way Mr. Bear liked it. Mrs. Bear carried the pot inside and put it on the table next to a bowl of crunchy dried beetles and bugs. Crispy critters! How Mr. Bear loved crispy critters. She had made 2 Valentine poems way back in the summer. Now she got them out of a drawer. One said, red berries are red, blueberries are blue, termites are sweet, and so are you too. The other one said, your teeth are so sharp, your claws are so fine. Dear Mr. Bear, you are my Valentine. Aww. She couldn't decide which poem she liked best, so she decided to give them both to Mr. Bear. Mrs. Bear huddled herself deep in her coat and went outside again. Only crazy creatures would be out this early in the year, she muttered. The sun shone through the haze pale as milk, crows cawed in the white air. The arms of the trees scratched at the sky. Mrs. Bear clawed away the ice on top of the pond. She splashed water on her ears and muzzle. She sleeked her head fur and took a long cold drink. It was time to wake up Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear's snores drifted from the den, and she smiled. Mr. Bear could sleep through just about anything. Mrs. Bear shook his shoulder. Time to get up, Mr. Bear. Snored Mr. Bear. Mrs. Bear shook harder. Wake up, Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear shrugged her away, turned his face into the wall. Just another 5 weeks, he begged. Mrs. Bear poked at his back. Happy Valentine's Day. Mr. Bear curled himself into a fur ball. He said. Oh, no, you don't. Mrs. Bear pulled Mr. Bear's ears until he uncurled himself. She tickled his paws. She pried open his eyes and watched them drop closed again. Said Mr. Bear. Mrs. Bear sighed. She took their empty berry can snuggled deep in her coat and went back outside. A wolverine slept safe in a hollow log. A deer drank from the pond. It stopped drinking and looked at Mrs. Bear with surprise as she filled the berry can. Mrs. Bear decided that the deer had never seen a bear up and about so early before. That's true, isn't it, friends? Then she carried the can of ice water inside. I'm sorry about this, Mr. Bear, she said, but you can't just keep on sleeping. This is a very special day. 1, 2, 3. Surprise! Mr. Bear shouted and sat straight up. It was a surprise, all right. Mrs. Bear jumped and the ice water splashed all over her. Mr. Bear hugged her. You thought I could sleep through just about anything, didn't you? He boomed. Well, I fooled you. Happy Valentine's Day. He pulled a box from under his pillow. I've had these here all along. Oh, Mr. Bear, chocolate-covered ants. My very favorites. Mr. Bear licked his lips. Mine, too. He admired the sign on the wall. Then Mrs. Bear ran for the poems, and Mr. Bear read them out loud. Dear Mr. Bear, you are my Valentine. That's lovely. His nose wrinkled. Is that fruity, rich summer honey I smell? Mrs. Bear smiled. Will you join me at the table? They sat together, sharing the Valentine's treats, till shadows filled the den and the bowl and the box and the honey pot were empty, and the special day was ended. And then they went to sleep again until spring. Isn't that the sweetest, cutest little story ever? The Valentine Bears. So friends, let's go ahead and make some Valentine treats for our math today. So let's begin by cutting out the heart. This is a heart shape, just like a box of Valentine candies is. So let's get our scissors and do our safe open, shut them cut. And we're gonna follow along the black line. Up and over 2 curves. Curve 1 and curve 2. Great job, friends. Follow that line all the way up and around. When you're done, go ahead and put your scrap away for recycling. And now, let's get our glue stick, open it up, roll it an eensy-weensy bit, and put glue on the back of our heart. So go ahead and put glue on the sides, maybe a little in the middle. Turn it around, and we're going to glue the heart up here, kind of towards the top. All right, friends? Go ahead and press it down so it doesn't come off. Excellent, very nice. So this is our little heart box of chocolates, but we need to make chocolates. So now we're going to use the brown piece of construction paper, and we're going to cut out 10 different shapes. So we can start by cutting up in a straight line. 1, 2 cuts, 3 cuts, and let's do 4 cuts. Then you have 5 whole pieces, okay? Now, we might not use all the paper, but we gave you enough so that you'd be able to make some candies. So I know some candies are kind of like a rectangle shape and square shape. So I'm going to cut a little bit, and I'm going to make a square candy, and maybe another square candy, and then I have a rectangle candy here. I know some of the candies can be kind of curvy. So if I cut a square shape like this, then what I can do is kind of make a round cut at the top to make my little chocolate piece look like a little bonbon. I'm going to do another one like that. So curvy cut at the top. And there's some other chocolates. Oh, and I have another rectangle type of chocolate. Okay, how many do I have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 4 more. All right, I think I'm gonna make a triangle shape chocolate. Sometimes they come in pretty shapes like triangles too. So there's 2 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. Now I just need 2 more. Well, I can even make a heart-shaped. So let me show you. Let's get a piece like this. Let's fold it in half. And then where the fold is, we hold the open side here, and where the fold is, we can make a little curve cut that goes kind of like this to a corner and goes down. And then when you open it, you kind of have a heart-shaped candy. I'll show you that one more time. So fold a little piece of paper. If it's easier for you to see, here's the open part, here's the closed fold part. Just make a curved line that goes down like this. Curve. And then you can cut on that line, curved line, just like this. And so when you open it, it has a heart shape. How about that? Isn't that a fun trick? All right, so now let's count how many Valentine's candies I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Now, close that glue stick, roll it down like a turtle, snap that cap, put away your scissors, and now we're going to use our white crayon to add some fun shape designs on our candies. So have you ever seen the round candies and it kind of looks like it has a little swirl on top? So let's make some swirls on some of the candies. We can make some dashes on some other candies. We can make wiggle lines. Don't these look like real chocolates you would find in a heart box of candy? Very nice. Sometimes they even have little sprinkles on them. We could put little polka dot sprinkles on some of the candies. And sometimes they're just plain. There we go. So I think I'll leave my 2 hearts just kind of plain, maybe with a white border, like this, tracing the sides. That might be a good idea so they stand out a little bit. Oh, how lovely. I think I'm getting hungry. What about you, friends? I'm kind of wanting some chocolate now. All right, now that we're done with the white crayon, we can go ahead and put that away. And now we're going to put our 10 pieces of candy in the chocolate box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so let's think of some math story problems we could do to talk about how many chocolates we have in our candy box. So I'm going to put a line here, and a line here, and a line here, okay? This is going to be a subtraction story this time. So I need my minus sign, and I need my equal sign. And since we have 10 friends, we always start with the total amount, 10. You can use your Flair pen for this. I'm just using a thicker marker so it's easier for you to see on the video. So I have 10 candies. So let's imagine some stories together. I have 10 candies in my Valentine's box. I eat 3 candies. 1, 2, 3. How many candies are left inside of my Valentine's box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you like this story, friends, you'll say 10 minus 3 equals 7. That's right. Let's think of another story. All right, let's put our candies back in. All right, 10 candies. I ate 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I ate 6 candies. How many candies are left inside of my Valentine box? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. So this one would be 10 minus 6 equals 4. Let's try some more. Okay, let's put the candies back in. All of them back into the Valentine's box. Da-da-da. Here we go. Great. I have all 10 candies back in the box. This time I'm going to make another story. I have 10 candies in my box, and this time I eat 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many candies are left inside of my candy box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. So 10 minus 5 equals 5. Wow. So friends, you can do all kinds of different stories like this. I think this is the story I like the best. So now that I've figured out my story, I'm going to say 10 minus 5, because I ate 5 candies in that story, equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 that are left inside of the box. You can have a different story than Mrs. Ida's. That's okay. Don't forget to write your name here at the bottom since you have your pen ready. Now let's go ahead and glue the pieces so that our story stays the way that we wrote it. Okay? So open up your glue stick and let's go ahead and glue the pieces. So I have 10 all together and I ate 5. 1, 2, just put a little bit of glue on the back of each piece. 3, 4, and 5. Remember, you might have a different story, and that's okay. Great job, friends. And then we have to glue the ones up in the top of our box, too. 1, 2, just a little glue will do it. 3, we're almost done. 4, and one more. 5. Great job. I can't wait to see all of the different stories that you did when you show us on Flipgrid. If you'd like to make this an extra special heart, you can use your Flair pen and add some little curvy details to look just like a Valentine box of chocolates. You can make little curves all the way around, just like this. Curve, 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 curve. Then you can start on the other side. Curve, 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 curve. Keep going all the way around. Make some nice, lovely curves. Have you ever seen Valentines that look like this before, friends? Pretty fancy. Very cute. You can even add a little arrow shape coming through there. Very nice. I sure hope you had fun making this Valentine math project with me. I know I sure had fun making it with you. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye, friends.